It is our final game of week number 6. We are ending the week off with Team Washed against Clown9. My name is Escape, and I'm once again joined by Fish McGish.
Hello again, everybody. What a banger of a game. Oh my god, that last one was so exciting. Moving on to Team Washed versus Clown9 11 Can they get the win? Everyone in Twitch chat is rooting for them. Bard is banned.
And Misfortune has been immediately locked in for Team Washed. This is exactly what Clown9 did in their previous game. She's obviously a very powerful champion at the moment. She's very rarely sneaking through pick ban without getting noticed at all. So it's going to be up to Clown9 to try and answer this one back. Obviously, Misfortune dictates that you either play engage or you don't play team fights. So we're going to see which side of that Cloud9 wants to take. Obviously, now Cloud9 is running the INT logo, which I respect now. Given how good that previous show was, obviously
It is the clown logo. It is the clown logo.
It is the clown logo. I like it. Jinx is going to be locked in.
What a strong, dominant. ADC meta right now. We can, we saw Sivir being B1 first picked. Now we're seeing Misfortune being picked first. Such a dominant ADC meta. Such strong ADCs here in the league.
What?
Ooh, Turtle Dog coming out for Cloud9.
Okay, so Very interesting. So there was an initial Diana hover, which I would really like. Obviously, Diana paired with Jinx is very, very good. Diana playing dive into Misfortune is very, very good. They decide to completely axe that at the last second and decide to go for the Rammus, which shouldn't be next to each other anyway. So I don't know how that click might have happened. That was a last second decision right there. They're going to lock the Braum for Wednesday.
Ooh.
Notably, Build a Pony still out of that support position for the time being. Erebus has said that he wants to get a little bit of work in with Wednesday to see who he prefers, as they are getting to the end of their season, so they need to make those final roster changes a little bit more assertive. Tell that to RLS, and that is going to
Boom,
be the
Diana
Diana
really
taken for
strong into
Godex
Rammus.
Anime. Yes, very
I
good.
really do like the Rammus pick here, though. You just press R on top of Misfortune, you taunt her, and there's nothing much you can do about it. Or even if you hit the knockup.
Ooh,
Oh my God, is that he who slops on the Zillion? Where is that gonna be? Support? Mid lane? I don't know. I haven't seen Ithro Meeps play it before, but judging by his champion pool of enchanters, could absolutely, excuse me, absolutely be support.
this is becoming quite a convincing cosplay of INT. First the banner, and then now they're locking in the Zillion.
Oh my
Step
God.
by step, this is starting to be a really good showing for them. And you know what? If you
That
had
means
to,
they win, right?
yeah, if you had to disguise your team as anybody, why would you not pick the team that's been at the top of the table literally the entire season? INT has been so dominant. Why not just copy out of their book? And so far, they've got that hyper carry in the Jinx. They got a solid front line in Rammus. I like what C9 has put together so far.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is kind of crazy draft, honestly. I didn't expect to see the Ramus coming out from C9, and certainly not the Zillion lock-in. Misfortune Braum, though, not sure I've seen that bot lane too much. Do you have any takes on that one?
Um, So something that Misfortune's able to do that not a lot of people give her credit for, she can chase really effectively in lane. WMAX Misfortune is like a secret crack for AD carry players. Don't tell anybody, but that build is so fun because you get to just play movement speed, you get all your cheater backs. There's room for Erebus to go for that right now, but given how powerful QMax has been historically, I don't imagine he's going to stray away from that for the time being. That being said, giving a little bit of aggression and protection with the
Mordekaiser.
Braum, taking it away is a good option. More
Love the
like to
Mordekaiser pick
say,
here.
give
Really
the PJ
disruptive in these
Salt.
team fights.
Yeah, good option to take away the jungler, both from the team fight engages and from dragons. And I like this. Please pick that PJ. That is the answer to Mordekaiser.
That is the answer to Mordekaiser. There's really not a whole lot that Mordekaiser can do into that champion. I mean, the orange is so oppressive. It just disables your ultimate. Your ultimate literally doesn't do anything to Gangplank. Um, But the other option there is that Mordekaiser's not necessarily bad into Team Wash. In a team fight, you just don't press R on Gangplank, and Cloud9's 3 core, not sure what their 4 core is going to look like, but so far the first 3 champions are going to do really, really well independently. Jinx plus that Zillion movement speed, or Dramus plus the Zillion movement speed is humongous. And as far as Misfortune goes, I'd be surprised if we actually don't see the Emax. Well, maybe the Emax build, maybe the Qmax build, depends on how confident Erebus is feeling. Qmax build being more for all inning, and the Emax build being more for damage. But with the Braum, I think I would actually, thinking about it a little bit more, agree with you that she's probably going to end
Yeah,
up going for the Qmax build.
Emax has taken a pretty big hit in the last little bit. So yeah, a lot of people have been straying away from it. The Qmax build is very, very prevalent, and it is going to be that last pick,
Very
LeBlanc.
prevalent,
We've seen Gonza be very good on this in the
yeah.
past. Are they going to lock it in? Looks like yes, it is going to be the LeBlanc picked up for Gonza. So quite a guerrilla tactics team, playing out of the forest, maybe out of the trees a little bit right now for
Out
Cloud9.
of the trees.
Yes.
I love this Vlad pick here by Pure Llama. That's going to be really, really exciting. I'd love to see Pure Llama play this champion. Gonza on the LeBlanc. Maybe a little bit hit or miss. I don't know. Really up to him. Very, very mechanical champion. A lot of opportunity to outplay your opponent. Ooh.
Definitely something he feels comfortable on. We'll have to see how these lanes play out as we go on into the Rift. And it's going to be a real center point in that mid lane, like you say, between that LeBlanc and that Vladimir. There's room for that to go into Gonza's favor, but we've seen Pure Llama on this resurgence coming back has been so dominant already, and just on account of player history, I have to be looking positively on that Vladimir.
Yeah, I would definitely look positively on that Vladimir as well, especially considering that he for sure outskills LeBlanc. But at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to cheeky blinders on that Mordekaiser deciding who he wants to ult in these team fights. Does he want to ult Misfortune? Does he want to ult the Vlad? Does he want to ult the Diana? If I was playing the Mordekaiser here, I think it's probably you're looking for the Vladimir just because he's going to be doing so much damage to your team. And there's not a lot of peel options for that Vlad otherwise versus just pressing R on him and Mordekaiser. What's he going to do to you in, Spirit Realm?
very notable that Cheeky Blinders is not the normal top laner for C9, so I am curious to know whether or not that's going to be a positive or a negative change. Obviously, Jawa has been a crux in certain plays. Obviously, this team has not seen the grand levels of success of pulling off a win just yet, but they've had good moments, and Jawa's been on either side of the coin for that, really either being a weak point or one of the only reasons that they've been able to hold on as long as they did. Noticing that Mexi's gonna start on the Wolves as Ramist. Can you give any like potency to that? Is that good?
So with Rammus, you actually do take Wolves and Raptors very, very quickly because of your ability to reflect damage back. That is still a pretty unorthodox clear as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a jungle player, so maybe there's some new tech where you take Wolves first on Rammus. But I guess I guess their bot lane just really, really didn't want to leash him on the blue. Not the slowest clear. You can see he's done with his Wolves and Diana's done with her blue, but not something that I would say is common.
Yeah, no, and you need to play very differently into that Vladimir right now. Gonza's struggling right now, and it's difficult because Vladimir's a weird champion where it's like you need to poke him, but trades he's normally in the advantage. So if you're both hitting each other, he's very, very good at that. But he's not good at just taking individual chips of damage.
No, and he certainly gets outranged by LeBlanc here.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if Gonza can kind of adapt to that right now. It's looking favorable for Pure Llama just off of the first level and how the matchup is developing right now. Obviously, a lot of potions already burnt out of that LeBlanc, and now Erebus trying to look aggressive right now, and a Music Boy does get stunned up in the bush. Meeps trying to fend off, and that Zillion auto, clearly the threat, was able to be blocked up by Wednesday.
Yeah, oh my god, I love seeing the Zillion support. I think the champion is actually secretly, like, super overpowered right now. Nobody plays it.
Meeps going very aggressive. This is a good bait. Three camps down into bot lane, trying to avoid Wednesday there. Erebus does have to flash out. Wednesday still does have that flash available. No taunt coming through from Mexi, and that is going to be missed out there. Meeps is in a lot of trouble. Does have that flash available. Trying to make forward. Really good taunt, but look at how low the health bars are right now for C9. Erebus gonna pick up that first kill.
What a disastrous gank there for Cloud9. Oh my god. Diana getting there just in time. Takes Raptors. Skips her camps. Very, very smart. Skips her camps. Goes straight bot lane for that counter gank. Gets a huge pickup on Rammus. And the gold goes over to Misfortune. Exactly who he wanted to go over to. Really, really big advantage here. For,
I don't want to like punch down at all, but X has not been kind of the center point for his team that he was last season. Obviously, this team has seen some mix-up. They've got Pure Llama in the mid lane. They've got Wednesday currently on support. They've had Build a Pony there previously. This is not the same wash that we saw previously, but the DNA is still there of Godix Anime, Erebus, previously known as Barbiturate, and PJ Salt. And
Erebus, exactly, yeah.
X has not been stepping up to that role that he's had previously, and that's a good moment of decision-making, and here we go again, in the right place at the right time, trying to make stuff happen.
Coming back down
again.
Really
good change there for X. Now Music Boy gonna get slapped down, and that is the CS guaranteed for his bot lane. And
decides not to use his summoner spells there. He's got Flash, he's got Exhaust, he's like, nah, I'll take Death. It sounds alright. He's got CS advantage, fast back, might as well go for it, right? Yeah, huge start here for Team Wash. I mean, Erebus is such a strong player. We know that he is at least the second best that you see in the league. Getting him so much gold in the early game is really going to snowball late, especially on a champion as strong as Misfortune right now.
Yeah, no, it's gold right there, gold for the Diana. And it looks like Mexi's going to try and make a play in this top lane, already seeing the struggles right now. But Gonza in a bad position. Once again, X has been everywhere, and the kill is picked up mid lane. And once again, this Diana at the center of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I really do employ FOF. Ooh, Rammus going for the cheese bush. Oh, running away. It's okay. Yeah, I really do employ FOF players to try out this Diana pick. I think she is so strong and so easy to play right now. Very, very flexible champion. Very strong having an AP champion in your champion pool, and a lot of team fight potential, a lot of 5v5 potential.
Cheeky Blinders looking comfortable up in this top lane. It looks like PJ's just kind of burnt through his mana. Starting on that tier has not been the necessary leverage to that mana bar that he's necessarily needed right now. Cheeky Blinders with a not-so-cheeky CS advantage. That is quite blatant and upfront. Nearly like 15 CS at this point in the game is quite significant. 12 or so, whatever we're sitting at.
Yeah.
It's fluctuating a little bit, but that is significant for 5 minutes.
That is a pretty huge lead, actually, for Mordekaiser. Pretty huge lead. Also considering that Gangplank went with the tier start, pretty unorthodox. You don't see tier start Gangplank too often these days. Especially considering that he has the first strike. I'm curious what he took, if not Time Warp Tonic.
Yeah, no, doesn't add up to me either. I mean, obviously that's something that isn't going to be finished. It's going to be a tier that gets sold off. So that is just there for the mana sustain, but clearly decided that he needed it. Obviously, Mordekaiser, a champion without any mana. Big trade in the bot lane right now, but it's going to be blocked out by that Braum. That's why he's so good. It's just able to deny damage. And once again, X is coming down. This wave is pushing in. And Music Boy still has that flash available, but the positioning here could be really rough as Meeps is going to go check out where that Diana is.
Oh yeah, Diana just permanently ganking here, getting leads mid, getting leads bot lane, really, really strong. Mexi that's sexy, having a really hard time keeping up with him.
Yeah. No,
Not looking too great for Cloud9, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, the Rammus pick has not been going for it, and you know what is noticeable is that they picked it so early in that draft, and then everything was AP. Right? There's the Diana that comes through, there's the Vladimir that comes through, obviously that GP, a bit of everything coming out of GP, but that Rammus just feels a little bit uncomfortable in this draft. There are better engage options if that's what you need. Rammus is such a niche pick, and he's so powerful in his niche, but you pick him that early into the draft and you don't know what you're facing anymore, and now it's going to be like a problem. Like you say, he's getting out cleared. Now the objective control is in Wash's favor. We'll have to see how they decide to rotate off this. This looks like it's just going to be Dragon and Wash.
Yeah, Rammus is kind of getting out jungled here. Unfortunately, he was forced to pick his champion a little bit on the early side. A lot of AP champions coming out from Team Wash. I do think Rammus is pretty strong right now. I mean, especially with Sunfire being such a strong item, but he is going to have a really, really hard time playing into this much AP.
Yeah, no. And they were hovering that Diana. This could have been theirs. They could have had this early gameplay that we've seen out of X. He's been so strong so far. Wednesday in a little bit of trouble, low HP, but they don't know that God X Anime is hanging out in the wings right there. Stun up. Having to burn that shield to try and get out of there comfortably. Wednesday chunked very low, but now X is going to zone the end. Oh, is that going to hit? Very narrowly missing there. No flashes burnt out, but that is a big wave, and just X being here in the wings is going to earn this for the Wash bot lane.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I would definitely say that Cloud9 does have a slight scaling advantage. I mean, Zilean is such a powerful late game champion. Same thing with Jinx. What would you say as far as that goes?
Yeah, really, it's Wombo on the side of Wash between the GP, the Diana, the Misfortune, the Vladimir, versus that just consistency. Rammus is going to get big. We talk about he's going to struggle into into AP champions, but he's still going to get very tanky.
Force of Nature, he's going to be doing a lot better.
Yeah, he doesn't mind at all. And Jinx, like you say, Zilean being there for the speed ups and the revives is so valuable. LeBlanc will still one shot somebody. So yeah, if C9 can slow this down a little bit, it can look very comfortable for them. But right now, Wash has been in the driver's seat and they're keeping their foot on the gas.
Yeah, it should be pretty lethal game. Not a lot of durability from Team Wash here. I mean, you just have Diana, Braum, and even those champions aren't the most durable. So definitely a lot of potential for Cloud9 to get picks this game. A lot of potential for him to come back. Mordekaiser doing really, really nice into this gameplay. A little bit of disrespect, I'd say, with the Cole purchase on GP, but he's not really worried about it. He's like, you know what, I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to farm up.
Potential for the 3v1 right now onto the Diana has been the crucial target. There's no taunt available. The flash comes out there from God X Anime, but he's 300 HP. Gonza's there, decides to go in, has the Ignite, picks up the kill. That is a big deal. Wash needed that. Now they can rotate towards this Rift Herald.
Yeah, that's an absolutely massive shutdown of the Diana there. Putting that money onto LeBlanc, giving her, maybe even gold status with Vlad here, despite the fact that she's down so much CS. Really, really, the momentum they needed to start turning this game around here for Cloud9.
They've just left Rammus here on his own. The mid lane was pushing in, the top lane was pushing in, and now a little bit of trouble here for Mexi, who started that Rift Herald up, got it down to 4,000 HP. It's going to reset, and that's an opportunity missed right there. Wash solo laners getting a little bit too greedy.
Diana bolting her way towards the Herald. She's like, hey, they're off it. I'm gonna head down here, take this red buff. Looks like she's looking for, nope, no Raptors there for you, buddy. Oh, or maybe there are. Maybe the map bugged out, but didn't look like it. Anyway, Diana heading out to a red buff. Jungler bot side, Rammus top side, Mordekaiser, pretty sizable advantage. Vlad, maybe even, gold parity with LeBlanc here.
Yeah, and once again, I want to give credit to the pathing here from God X Anime. Wave was pushed into the bot lane. Now Music Boy and Meeps are starting to move forward. Oh, no, okay, the counter was there. I was going to say, but they got the Diana down there on the bot side of what was a possible moment for a gank. This is really good synchronization from this Diana and from the side of Team Wash, which is finding these advantages. Speaking of which, Pure Llama out of nowhere, going for this play in the mid lane. That isn't going to quite pick up the kill. Flash is traded. The Ghost is also down. Ultimate burn from Pure Llama. That was close.
And you can see Erebus starting to slowly claw back that CS difference. Really, really pretty steady bot lane game this game, I'd say. The only action really going on down there is just the jungle ganks. pretty solid, actually. What I like to see is just, ADCs playing safe, hitting minions, scaling up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need right now. And Cheeky Blinders continuing to just push this advantage in the top lane. Interesting item pickups there between the plastic one for that extra damage and the Bomby Cinder. That is going to be a tankier Mordekaiser build, obviously, but
Yeah.
Odd ordering.
It is a little interesting. I'm curious what he's going to do with that blasting wand, but the Bomby is almost certainly...
Right?
Pardon me?
Has to be Rylai's, right?
Rylai's, or it could be Demonic Embrace. Could be Demonic Embrace.
Good point.
But yeah, anyway, for the Bombies, it's got to be Frostfire. I think he's going to be very, very disruptive, and his plan, I'd have to imagine, is to just ult somebody important and be unkillable in ult.
Yeah, that seems to be what he's looking towards right there, picking up the full boots on that recall. Does have that TP available, and now Codex Anime once again playing in the wings, trying to find something there. Really good trading there from Gonza, finding an advantage over the Vladimir, who is yet to recall. He's going to finally take that just now. The Rift Herald is going to give safe passage back to the base right there for X, and it looks like we're going to play for this dragon.
Yeah, already the Nashor's Tooth on Diana going to be a lot of damage. You can see a lot of these first item pickups actually on the team of Wash, whereas unfortunately Cloud9 is sort of behind in that regard. I'm not sure if they really want to contest this dragon with so many items offline compared to Wash, but they might not have an option. If they go down 2-0 on Dragons, I mean, we saw it with the last game, going down 3-0 on Dragons worked out okay for INT, but usually it's
4-0 or 4-2.
Well, 4-2, right? But at the start of the game, they were down 3-0.
Yeah.
Gonna be pretty risky. Once you're down 2-0 on Dragons, they can, the next Dragon puts you 3-0, and then after that, it's sole point.
Ooh, so. Gonza doesn't have that ultimate available to try and get out of there. No flash either. Is going to try and break away, but the PTA is going to spell which one it is. And with those item breakpoints missing, 4 people in that mid lane, there's the Rift Herald going down. Great macro play from Wash. There is no answer here, and it looks like that Cloud9 not only not going to be able to answer this, but not going to be able to cross map it at all.
Yeah, wow, taking the Cloud Dragon and taking the mid turret with that Herald at the same time. Great macro here. Almost no resources are even being committed to this. Gangplank chilling in the top lane, getting able to see, getting a CS, scaling up. It's going to be very, very powerful in this late game, especially if he goes with the Prowler's Claw build. Crit, lethality, Gangplank, very, very strong.
Free potential here right now. Erebus is very strong in this jungle, in these choke points, and that's exactly why the bullet time is out. Ultimate also burned from Wednesday, but the soccer ball is just going to walk through the wall just there as it's
Rammus just too tanky. Too tanky.
Yeah, too tanky and doesn't at all care about the ducks at all. He's just going to walk out of there. Potential for Wash to find an even bigger lead, but it is just Flash's burn.
That's the nice thing about this Mordekaiser build, but this Rammus build, building tank like that, a lot of margin of error. Just because you get caught out of position doesn't mean you're going to be doesn't mean you're going to be dying instantly. A little bit of wiggle room there for Team C9.
The wiggle room is exactly what they needed right there. The lenience is what they're looking for, and they're going to try and get these this strong ADC into later stages. Music Boy has tried to put this team on his back time and time again, and it's he's at a small disadvantage right now. Erebus having that KP is really giving him that extra gold he's needing. Obviously, MF doesn't need to pick up the boots as early. She hasn't paid for those at all yet, so that's 1,100 gold that's missing right there. So I don't think these ADCs are really split by too much at the moment, but Erebus is going to continue to be strong until Jinx is on those 3 items, and then they're probably even. But it's if they get to that point.
Yeah, if they get to those 3 items. Music Boy, I think, has been actually a pretty consistently good ADC here in the bot lane. His one weakness seems to be, maybe overly aggressive positioning. But with that Zillion giving you that extra movement speed plus Jinx passive, I think that's really going to make up for what his weaknesses are. It's going to make him look really, really good at, in these late game team fights.
This is honestly probably the best Gonza's looked in lane. Obviously, he's had more standout games where he's able to do more.
I mean, he is down 40 CS.
Yeah, but in terms of his trading and all that type of stuff into Pure Llama is a dominant force in this league. And I want to give credit to that. Keeping him down is definitely going to be challenging, and he's not doing that. It's going to definitely shape up to something different. But with how this lane started, I was a little bit more concerned about a great sidestep there from Music Boy. He's going to get him away from Wednesday. I don't know if they caught Godex Anime sneaking into the bush.
Ooh, big stun.
To think that this is turnable.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Diana appears. Great double root is going to get them out.
Wow, yeah, really nicely played there from C9. Not getting baited, not over engaging there.
You gonna be ulti? They gonna go for it? Standing in the bush, he knows that it's available. It's not gonna quite connect. The flash has to be burnt out of Erebus though, and you take that.
Yeah, no, that's completely worth it. Pretty good pickup actually from C9. Unfortunately, it's not going to be winning you any games blowing Misfortune Flash, but definitely gives you more opportunities.
Low HP still. Doesn't see Music Boy move into that bush, but Music Boy doesn't see what's about to come for him right now. There's no flash available. Erebus burning that heal. The res is there. But I
There's
don't
just
know if that's
too many people here.
anything.
Too many people here for Wash.
Yeah, Ultimate's already been burnt out. That's 2 more kills going over to Wash. 5k gold, nearly the advantage, and starting to get a little bit grim.
Well, I think at this point, we copium Twitch viewers are sort of used to this with the Cloud9 experience, but I always hold out hope for Cloud9. I believe in their abilities, you see. One day, a clown hero, will arise from the ashes, okay? And they will carry Cloud9 to an era of glory. It has to happen, right? But maybe not this game.
Yeah, I know. We're all very hopeful for it. We want to see this team succeed. And I think that's one of the awesome parts about FOF is that we're all very able to get behind underdogs and root for them and know that how hard they're trying. And they're, you know, like this is a team, they come in and have a good time. I've heard nothing but good reports from the refs that get to sit with them. They're like, yeah, no, they're just having fun. They seem to really be enjoying themselves. And it's difficult to do that through a bunch of losses. So props to them for staying on top of it. But right now, only team on top right now has been Washed. They have been everywhere. X has actually had a really good showing today. Just a big step up from his performance this season and back to his previous form, I would say. And it's looking very comfortable. Hold on, Meeps is trying to do this all on his own, but he's going to go down before the Music Boy really gets a sense of what's going on. And Erebus is taking down a half HP, but that's all they have to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that at this point, C9 is down 6k gold. Really, really not looking good for them. They're down 6k gold. They're down 2 dragons. Wash picking up the 2nd Rift Herald now. They've been getting every objective. No turrets for C9. I'm starting to have a hard time. Giving up sides for C9 here, but they do scale. They do scale.
We have seen teams in worse positions by this point on the clock. Wet, for example, was out of game for 20 seconds by now. So, you know, there have been worse situations. This is more recoverable. Obviously, they still have the Nexus available, but it's going to have to fall into Cheeky Blinders, who's been a really solid force in this top lane right now. He's CSing very, very well, staying ahead of PJ, but PJ's starting to get those items through, and this gangplank starts to get very scary. The more that crit chance starts to roll in, the more the damage starts to roll in, and Cheeky Blinder's doing a really good job of just continuing to collect up there, but you need to find an advantage.
You do need to find an advantage here. I think Cloud9 really needs to be looking for these macro plays here, especially using that Mordekaiser lock. I do think he's pretty powerful right now, getting that Sunfire online, considering that GP only has a S-Sphere, which is a... Pardon me?
This feels desperate right now. They're trying to set up for this dragon right now. There's still no Mythic finished up for the Jinx. We're Mythic and a half right now on the Misfortune. They're trying to set up here. TP is available for both top laners.
Rammus would love himself some Mountain Dragons.
I feel like you have to just take the hint and walk away right now. If you're C9, they see Music Boy moving up into the front line. Pure Llama fully stacked on that passive. I like the positioning from Gonza, but he's been spotted out. It's still this consistent dance back and forth. The GP has finished the recall. He's got the move. He has the ultimate available. And somehow Wash actually giving them room right now. They haven't seen Mordekaiser long enough, and they're going to decide to drop that Rift Herald in the mid lane, go for a better play. And I actually like this from Wash if they want to commit to it. No.
Listen, I can see into this Rammus's brain, okay? This is a Mountain Dragon. He is playing the Turtle Dog. He is going to get this, or he is going to die trying.
Die trying might be the play right now as he finds the engage on 4. The bullet time just ripping through them, but unable to pick up that kill. There's the revive from Zillion, and now Cheeky Blinders just walking past, trying to get in on the backline. Good flash there from Music Boy, keep himself alive, but he can't pick off God X Anime. And now Pure Llama's going to rip through the backline, a triple kill for the Vladimir. Erebus might be the only one to fall, as now PJ Salt is going to take the revenge onto Cheeky Blinders. Wednesday going to get picked up, but that is going to be it. It is a 2 for 5.
Oh man, not a great team fight there for C9. If they weren't down 6k gold, honestly, it looked pretty good. I would say if they were even in gold, they probably would have ended up coming out on top in that team fight. You saw the Rammus was just so tanky. The Misfortune ult was not able to do as much as she really needed it to do. But when you're up, when you're up that much gold, when you have all the dragon advantages, it doesn't necessarily need to look that good. You can get through it with just raw force.
Almost picked up that mid inhibitor off of that single Rift Herald that was dropped into the mid lane, was able to take the inner turret, the inhib turret, and half the HP off the inhibitor. And now it's going to be on Wash. They can move towards this Baron, and honestly, that's an end angle. 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20-minute end angle. Going to be a pretty quick game here for Team Wash. Not going to draw it out too long if they don't want to, but they do have to be pretty careful. We are playing in North America. There is always the potential of Rammus hopping over the wall, stealing that Baron, and making this maybe a game.
There's some attempt. Really, what C9 needs to do, right, is they need to look at this game and say, hey, we're down a lot. We only just got our mythics rolling through. There's already 2 items on the top lane, 2 items in the mid lane, 2 items on the ADC. Nearly 2 finish up for the Diana. Let's just try and play in vision pockets. We can buy sweepers. Let's just try and get into weird spots. And I like the clear right now from Kansa, trying to maybe set something up like that. But they need to find Diana, Misfortune, GP, somebody in the wrong place, and try and swing something. Maybe this is their play right now. They're going to find a way onto Erebus. There is the flash available, but he doesn't get the chance right now. Gets pulled back and
A lot of CC.
Taken very, very low, but the heal's going to get him out of there alive. 2 versus 5. The GP ulti is going to do more damage than anything, and Wash is going to walk out alive.
Yeah, I mean, super good attempt there. You really need to start getting some shutdowns on champions like Diana, champions like Vlad that are worth so much gold here. Unfortunately, PTP not quite able to make it happen. Wednesday has left the game. Pause.
Oh, and we are on pause timer. Oh, goody, goody, good. Game, we're doing a little bit, how to say, it's a little bit one-sided. There's not too much analysis to go into, unfortunately. I think both these teams are really giving it. I think we're all in chat giving it our all for C9 to try and turn this one, but it's starting to look like the writing is on the wall right now.
We have just came in from the staff here at FOF. We are waiting on a router reset from Wednesday. So, Escape, what do you think Theracles' hands look like?
That's a great question. Okay, we can take this up with the chat as well. Please, everyone get in on this. So, there's this ongoing piece right now where Theracles refuses to show us his hands, and I gotta be completely honest, I don't know where the bits started from, but now I'm very committed. I need to know, you know? Like, I'm sitting in this place where it's like, you know when you didn't have any level of like mysterium or like questioning in something, and somebody just like distantly goes, hey, you don't know what this is, and you're like, oh wow, I really like, that's me with Ryan's hands right now.
Boom, yeah. I mean, I'm on the side of Team Bear Claw, man. I think he's got some big meaty paws. Maybe 50-pound grip strength. Oh, absolutely. Like big hairy.
If I may, Ryan is, anybody who hasn't spoken to Theracles before, he's intimidating, right? Scary sounding dude, able to really control a room. My vote is that he's got to have like hands that don't fit the rest of him, that he's hiding. You know what I mean? Like Bear Claws would make sense.
That's why? You think that's why he's hiding his hand? Like, maybe he's not a human. Maybe he has lizard hands.
I don't wanna like go after a man's insecurities by any means. But I don't feel as though that has to be like, it doesn't have to all add up, because I've got a friend, right? He's got an incredibly deep voice. Really, really good. Like, it does like voice acting, this type of stuff. Really good control of voice. Super, super deep. He's 5'1". And that blew my mind the first time. So I feel like we're in that position right now with his hands.
Yeah, you think Theracles has pretty petite, delicate hands? You think he's actually maybe he sews, you know?
Maybe he's so. Oh, I like that. Crocheting Ryan is actually a
crocheting.
Really good
I think probably makes himself like lumberjack hats. You know what I mean?
Chris, is that where we're getting the merch from? Is that what it is? Is that maybe that's what it is? Ryan's hands are all calloused from making all the merch. He doesn't want to show us.
Yeah, our contact here has refused to answer whether or not the merch does in fact come directly from Theracles.
No comment. Okay, all right. All right, this is apparently not a topic that we can bring up at the moment, but bringing up is the Wi-Fi signal right now for Wednesday. Looks like there might be some connectivity there. Hopefully he's able to proceed forward with this game. It's been a pretty dominant one. I think this is one you'd want to take part in if you're the Wash support.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Cloud9 does sort of have to sit here and wait for the Wi-Fi to come back on. Probably cracking some jokes right now, making some memes. Maybe enjoying the stream. Maybe they popped open the stream, looked at the previous gameplay that's already happened here.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
This is really unfortunate. Okay, so I
mean, today is Friday. It's not his fault.
That's true. So I think maybe what a good piece would be. So we're nearing the end of the season, and I know that you've been here for most of it. You were playing for a good chunk of the season. You've been commentating for a chunk of the season. I think that would you say that you've seen most of the FOF that FOF has had to show?
I would certainly hope so. I'm not too familiar with the Mythic League, but certainly Heroic League, I've seen a lot of it. I did play 8 games. Oh, we're back into it.
How do you feel about MVP this season? I actually want your thoughts on it.
MVP for each role, or
No, for the whole league. Who has been the biggest like standout player in your mind?
Wow. For heroic, that is right.
Yeah, for heroic. We don't have to go into mythic. That's later.
Well, the player that has received the most MVPs, the most consistent MVP vote, I would say, is BoExplode87. I think he has been a pretty consistently strong jungler, very aggressive playstyle, a lot of ganking.
This is just a bug that
I would say the #1 most perhaps underrated player, very little bit of a pick here on the Rammus. Most underrated player, little bit self-conscious, not too full of himself, very humble player. Kenny Hammerspike has been consistently good in pretty much every single game he's played. If you look at his KDA, it is absolutely crazy how strong his KDA is. You see him going 15-0 on Bane. Like, what was it, 12-0 Kog'Maw. This is like game after game after game, and he's smurfing every game. His CS numbers are crazy. He's the top of almost every stat, and nobody is chanting this guy's name. Let me tell you, Kenny Hammerspike, 6'5", alpha as fuck, okay? Yeah. This guy, big brain, big muscles, okay? Athletic, great player.
Okay, so I gotta give you two pieces. So one, I personally, right, I see it the most, so I'm gonna be a little bit biased. I feel like War Leader has definitely like slid his name into that. But somebody that really needs to be talked about, Guilty has been unbelievable for AWE. There have been games where AWE doesn't look like they should have a shot, and Guilty has been the one that is like holding his team together and consistently playing really, really, really well. And it's been really good improvement from him too. He hasn't been stagnant, hasn't been like an individual piece. And well, I agree with you. Kenny and Bo both play fantastic. They have each other. I feel like
they do have each other. It's easier to look good when your whole team is strong. 100%.
And I feel like without Guilty, there's this essence that is AWE this season that disappears.
I'm 100% on board. Yeah.
Right?
I
think he's
really do think
somebody to look for right now. Is it looks like there's going to be Wash moving towards this Baron. This is an opportunity for them to end the game. Obviously, they've been able to find some picks, and it's going to be PJ Salt on the hold for the time being, trying to keep them out of the pit as it is 3K, 2K. Does that steal?
Ooh, okay. Close. Super close. Well, maybe we could consider
Gonza, bye-bye.
I throw Meep. Think about it. I throw Meeps, right? Theo Bard. Bard has been banned every single game.
That's true.
Him. I cannot think of any other player where there's so much respect for him. How powerful is this guy if he gets Bard banned every lobby?
And there has been confirmation that Quad A is the final game that they play this season. And Quad A, I'm going to hold you guys to this, but they said that if it does not affect their standings, they will leave Bard open so we can finally see what wrath it will incur. Right now, hold on, this is a good play. I like this right now. A little bit overshot there from the Rammus, but this is what they need to be doing right now, but they can't find the pick onto GodX Anime, and now the rotate has come through from Wash. They're going to be moving towards this bot lane inhibitor right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're Cloud9, you're down 16k gold, and you are really, really just trying to make a play happen. Oh my god, Music Boy dying instantly.
Instantly deletes the Jinx, but so does I Throw Meep's just disappearing. This Vladimir's under the double Nexus turret, still trying to find kills. This whole on the back line. Cheeky blinders, turning a blind eye to the rest of the fight right now, and he's able to pick up Erebus in the back, keep the fight going on to PJ Salt. There's no flash available for him, for either of them, and that is going to hold the base. That Mordekaiser comes up clutch.
Yeah, a little bit of disrespect coming out from Team Wash there. Cloud9 able to bring a little bit, reel a little bit of that gold lead back. Unfortunately, they're about to lose Mountain Soul.
Are they going to lose it?
Oh, okay.
I was hoping that Mexi would maybe...
There was a dream. But yeah, I mean, again, I really do think that this team comp for C9 is pretty strong. If they're somehow able to bring back some of this gold advantage, they could, they could have themselves a game.
The magic of Jinx has always been that if the third item comes through, it's winnable, right? So, especially with the Zillion there, especially with the Rammus, with Cheeky, Blinders being able to pull stuff like that, if somehow there is 3,600 gold going spare, which is a bit of a copium sentence as it works its way out of my mouth.
That is a lot of gold.
It's a lot of gold, but if somehow, and I've been in those games, that gold gets tossed away on a little bit of carelessness, like we just saw from Pure Llama trying to go for something big and flashy, if Music Boy can get that gold, or most of it, there's going to be a lot of minions moving into that base. There is room for that IE to finish, and suddenly Misfortune doesn't exactly get turned off, but it kind of like puts the mute on her team fighting ability.
Yeah, and there is a good amount of peel here coming out from C9 too. So if Jinx is able to just free hit for the entirety of these team fights, and I think Music Boy is actually, again, pretty mechanically gifted guy, I do think that he could, we could see Jinx pentakill. We could see the reverse from C9. They take the Elder, they take the Baron, they win the game.
But it's all hope and a prayer until they can make it happen. Right now, the final inhib turret is being matched right now by 4 of Wash. As they're going to go in, Gonza trying to find some damage, but he's going to get himself picked immediately. That's 2 ultimates burnt. Pure Llama trying to make his way towards the backline right now as Music Boy is stuck onto the Nexus turrets. They're free hitting onto Pure Llama and Mexi. Mexi's trying to flash away, but the engage is still there. There's the revive coming through from iThrow Meeps. Gonna be able to get his jungler out of there alive for the time being. The trade in the bot lane between the 2 top laners, and now it is 4v3. The Fountain is available for C9, but that is their only advantage right now, as minions and numbers is looking up for Wash as they're going to take that third
unfortunately,
inhibitor.
Diana takes turrets so quickly. I mean, it is looking pretty dim. Rammus is hoping.
Mexi's trying to find his way in, but he disappears before there was any chance at it right now. Erebus is hitting the Nexus, and it was a hope and a prayer for C9, but nothing comes through, and that is a win for Wash.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say overall pretty clean game for Wash. Not a whole lot of mistakes there. Really great macro coming out. Really out macroing C9 that game, picking up every single dragon, getting both heralds, putting them down during those dragon fights. Actually, really impressive play there. Creating a distraction to give you more opening for those dragons, and not really giving many of those shutdowns away. Really, I think it was just the Vlad. I think Vlad twice, and I think Diana once, and that was pretty much it for the shutdowns. Other than that, I'd say pretty solid performance. Good game, very well played.
The only little bit of sloppiness was when Pure Llama decided he wanted to show off and went in for that big play in Nexus. And you know what? It looked pretty good, but it wasn't able to clean things up. But that game overall is looking pretty neat, tidy, and washed up for Team Wash right there. We are going to move on to our final interview of the day with Erebus, so please stick around for that.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here at the winners interview here after another fantastic match of beautiful performance. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I'm being echoed. All right, I fixed it. Anyway, I'm joined here by the AD carry of Team Wash. I've got Erebus here. How are you feeling after that match, Erebus?
It feels pretty good. I thought we were going to lose to a DC again, which would have been awesome. But, luckily the internet came back and we pulled it out. It felt pretty good. We actually did stuff besides just hang out mid lane and lose all our fights, so that was nice.
That is true. As cool as ARAM is, and forfeits are, I'm glad that wasn't the end result today. However, I do know, looking at our draft, there's one important question on everybody's mind. Okay, actually two. I'm sure you're all curious with my hands, but we might get back to it later. We'll find out. But the more important question in my mind is, why are you a coward for banning Bard?
Alright, so the thing is, we would not ban Bard if we didn't suck so much that we were almost in playoff relegation. If we were a little bit better, or if other teams let us win a little bit more, they get Bard no problem. So I'm going to blame it on the other teams just not letting us win more games, which is, it comes down to them, not us. It looks like should probably be the team that's going to let Bard through. It's on them. I'm putting it on them next week. That's their problem.
All right, fair enough. Now that we've answered that question, we can go ahead and talk about how draft actually played out for you today. It must be a little bit interesting being able to have Pure Llama back in the mix. I really like that you were able to pull out more of a Diana. This was really cool. We were able to see the Gangplank and Mordekaiser that a lot of the community's been talking about for those matchups. And also the Vlad coming out is different that I think what we've seen from what Llama's been doing lately. So I was just kind of curious if you can give us some insight into that and how it played out.
Yeah, we expected them to first rotation ban Misfortune, so we grabbed it. They picked Jinx, which I think is... I don't think it's the worst response, but I don't think Jinx is in a great spot. Then they grabbed Rammus. It's whatever, I don't know. I can just vibe out. So Braum Misfortune's a really strong lane into Jinx. Jinx is pretty immobile. We also grabbed Diana. Diana farms a lot faster than Rammus. Kyle or God Anime is very, very good at Diana. And his brain was on this game, which was great. So it worked out pretty well. And then, they banned out Llama and a little throwback Urgot ban. We're not picking Urgot, guys. Don't worry about it. We just banned some random stuff, and then they pick Mordekaiser. GP's free into Mordekaiser if you're a good top laner. They pick LeBlanc, and then Vlad's free into LeBlanc if you're a good mid laner. So I felt pretty confident in our top.
There you go. I like those thoughts. It seems like you definitely put some thought into it during the draft that definitely seemed to work out in your favor. And, talking about how that played out in the Rift, I would say that Diana seemed to be in all the right places at all the right time. So I guess I'll have two parts to this question, but we'll start with the first one, and that's how is it on your guys' side as far as figuring out the jungle tracking and how to make sure God Anime was in the right place to make all that happen?
Yeah, so we know the Diana clear is significantly faster than Rammus. We just told him the full clear. Bot looked pretty gankable, I think. I think he walked down, maybe not, but Rammus came down at level 2, which was goofy. It was annoying for sure, but we were pretty close to tower. He griefed his clear. Diana did not grief the clear. And then it was pretty easy to track where Rammus was just based on when his buff timers were going to show up. We also had some pretty good deep wards, which we usually never do. We focused on trying to have actual vision for the first time ever, and so we'd spot him somewhere, we would just see one of their lanes kind of playing more aggressively out of nowhere. We would assume Rammus was there, in that mid lane fight where 5 people just tried to eat me. We knew they were on the side. I didn't think I'd live. I was happy I lived, but we knew they were all there. We knew we had side pressure.
For sure, yeah. And then the other thing I was definitely going to touch on, it seemed like you in the bot lane had a very commanding position, I would say, which is a little bit surprising. I feel like Music Boy and Throw Meeps has been a very strong combo. So I was wondering, how that played out for you. Is that something that you guys wanted to try and just really impressed right off the bat? And what was your communication like, especially having the newer support taking over?
Yeah. So Misfortune and Braum, we kind of we were gonna pick Leona. Braum feels a little bit better into Zillion. He blocks a lot of incoming damage. And that lane's really difficult. Music Boy and I Throw Meeps are great bot laners. That's a really difficult lane to play. All Braum has to do is land a Q, and Misfortune's gonna sprint at you. If Zillion throws one bomb, you can just run. If he misses it, run straight at them, and you're gonna outdamage them. When Zillion walked up against us, he just got insta-stun, insta-died. So it's pretty hard for them to play the lane. They kept up in CS really well. We were trying to respect the Rammus. We just kind of stayed back a little bit. But we've never played Braum Misfortune together before. the communication's a lot better just because I played with Alex or Wednesday for about 5 or 6 years, and I don't know. I just feel a little more comfortable laning with him because he's kind of used to how I play. Our play styles are a little more similar.
Understandable, and I think it worked out really well for you guys. And kind of looking at the standings a bit, you're not quite out of the woods. You're definitely in a better spot having that victory under your belt. But it seems like you're still in a bit of a close race here with Team Wet and TPTP, who you'll be playing next week. So I was just kind of curious on getting your thoughts on how you're feeling in regards to how that's going to play out, and how you're preparing for that next week.
Yeah, we played Pentakill Team Up Please once. They look a lot better than they used to. Earlier in the season, I don't know, we really didn't think about them too much. They look a lot better. I'm not sure I think Vanel's gotten more comfortable playing champions. He's not like his two mains, which probably helps the team a lot. And then it looks like we also play In the Trees.
Correct.
Man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll do some weird stuff and it'll work out. Llama's back, it might be good. Or we'll just lose in like 18 minutes again because we do weird stuff. And then it looks like Wet is playing C9 and PTP as well. So I think we have to win both or have them lose both for us to be in. I don't know. It's going to be hard. PTP is not a bad team. In the Trees is very obviously not a bad team. I think we can at least go 1-1. I'd like to say we'd go 2-0, but In the Trees is really difficult. So fingers crossed.
That is true. Definitely some difficult matchups to look up going to next week. There's a lot of pressure still on all the teams. Very little teams have cemented their place in where they are so far, but that's okay. And usually I try to end these things more towards by asking how what the next match is, but it's the last match tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you on your very hype match coming up next week, RLS versus INT. How do you think that's going to play out?
It really depends on which RLS shows up. RLS has a 10-2 record, but I think they would agree that a lot of times they don't look the best. Whereas In the Trees, for whatever reason, aside from Clown, like they kind of just beat everybody besides Cloud9 early. Cloud9 has their number for like half the game. I'm probably going to give it to In the Trees unless RLS gets a little inventive. RLS looked significantly better today, but again, they have so many different roster iterations, it's kind of hard to tell who's going to be there. So I'm going to probably give that to In the Trees.
Perfect. That's a match we're all looking forward to. But I think we're just about out of time here, so I want to go and give you just a quick moment here to say anything you'd like to, any banter, any shout-outs, anything you got going on.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Bill. Bill was, Bill, great support. Really like playing with him. Really good presence. Still kind of hanging out with us. Really nice guy. Alex is great as well. And then, I don't know, Total Trash for some reason in the middle of our game posted a response to Johnny Tsunami's like trash talk from like 8 months ago. So shout out Total Trash for finally catching up to reading. I don't know. Congrats on paying for Sword Blue, man. Third place looks pretty good when you're paying $250 a month. GG's.
Dang, that's a good trash talk that Tito'll definitely have to watch out for. Anyway, we got a lot coming next week for the final double round robin of the heroic, and don't forget we have our Mythic League coming up on Monday and Tuesday. You can check us out for there. And one more thing before I'm going to go, there is the question of how big my hands are. I've got the measuring tape right here. My hands